All right. Peace, you guys. Welcome to Just Us Jenkins. If you are seeing me for the first time, I'm Jamillah, stay at home homeschool mama of three beautiful babies. I'm also a certified Reiki master, lineage healer, generational curse breaker, spirit whisperer, and owner of healingmama.com. You guys, we are back with another episode of the Motherhood Realness podcast, and I'm so excited because I have my beautiful friend and tattoo artist and therapist Art by Jenny C in the building. Yeah. All right, you guys, tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about ink therapy. Okay, healing through ink therapy. Jenny is such a beautiful and talented artist, and her work is like super therapeutic. So, without further ado, Jenny, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where we can find you and where you want to be found.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. My name is Jennifer Contreras. I am on Facebook and Instagram under Art by Jenny C. It's all one word. And I am located in Ogden, Utah. That is where I basically tattoo, but we are a traveling studio, so I do travel with the My Style Pro team. You could find all of us if you look up my boss and friend, Cassidy Teal. She is the owner. I do travel state to state, but I always post it on my Instagram what state I will be in the upcoming month.
Yes, you got a lot of conventions and stuff coming up. So if you guys want some good artistry, follow your girl because she has some beautiful things. And I love that you're like in like the anime stuff and like the cool stuff. I love that.
Right? I love the colors.
Yes. All right, you guys. So, just a few announcements. This month, I am offering Mother's Day readings all month of May for $55.55. So, go ahead and hit my website so you can get in on some of that. Every Friday, we have the Motherhood Realness podcast, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And every Sunday, I do readings, you guys, over on YouTube live. So tap in, okay? So I just wanted to start tonight off with a quote about tattoos. So, tattoos have a power and a magic all their own. They decorate the body, but they also enhance the soul. So, what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel like that? Is that an accurate depiction of what tattoos do for people?
I believe so, yeah. To me, it's a type of like healing in a way that I'm the only person that they can communicate outside of their bubble. That's their life, and I can provide a unbiased opinion. So when they ask me certain things, they're like, "Am I overreacting, or is this like a valid reason for me to feel like this?" And I feel like with a lot of us, we we feel like we're overreacting, but in a sense, it's justifiable how we're feeling, and that's okay how we're feeling, but it's always the give and take if you can control your emotions or not. And I feel like tattooing just kind of puts that energy into that because especially after a tattoo, people are always like, "Oh, I'm ready for a nap." It's like therapeutic. Like some people go to the gym, they're extremely exhausted after the gym. So
Mhm.
yeah, I believe it helps like that.
Yeah, I will definitely say for me, it's like the pain like just releases all the stuff like out of my nervous system. So I definitely feel that like you're just like relaxed, you're ready to sleep, and you're ready for the next tattoo.
There had been a quote that had said, people can cope better with tattoo pain than emotional pain because in emotional pain you can't pinpoint where it hurts or how bad it hurts. You can't really describe it sometimes, and that's when like you're gasping for air and you can't breathe. But with a tattoo, like no matter how bad it hurts, sometimes the pain inside is nowhere near the pain that the tattoo is. So people are like, "Oh, this is easy. I can take a nap."
Yes, that is absolutely, that is a great depiction of how the experience is. Yes, I love that. So how long have you been tattooing, girl?
I've been tattooing full time for about 3 years now. My journey into the industry did start in 2019, but that is a ton of work before you even touch a tattoo machine. Um, my mentors in the past I've had to taught me about the actual tattoo art before even touching a machine.
Hmm.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that like at the beginning of any type of company or industry that you start, you're not going to be making much money until you get a high-end clientele. So I had to
Hmm.
work full time for a long time, plus aside from tattooing.
Oh, was that like hard for you to juggle working full time and then doing that on the side?
Oh yeah, I had definitely felt like giving up a few times, and that's a thing with a lot of new apprentices nowadays asking me, they're like, "How did you do it? This is hard." I'm like, "It is hard." And it kind of weeds out the people who aren't meant for this type of work and the people who are, because aside from money, it's a really big struggle with like being your own business or owner. I'm sure that a lot of people can relate on that other than just tattooing. I have talked to a lot of hairstylists and like entrepreneurs about this, and it's a tough world when you're just by yourself and you don't have like a steady set of income.
Hmm. Yeah, that is getting your foot in the door and getting that clientele build up. It takes a minute. Um, how are slash how have tattoos been healing for you?
Um, so for me, in a sense, I was more of a person who self-harmed, whether it be like physical or mentally. Like you can tell yourself a million things and you're your own worst critic and you can just stay inside of that. I used it as a sense to express myself. So when I had certain times or certain steps in my life that I felt like I needed to let go of something, I would get a tattoo. And that was in the beginning. Nowadays, I even have more access to tattoos from great artists now, but it, in a sense, I don't need it as much anymore because my life is more put together.
Hmm.
But, now it's more of a fun type thing instead of a having to cope thing. Like, the last tattoo I got, for example, was, like, a random competition piece my boss wanted to enter, like, she had a few hours left to do it, so I was just like, "Yeah, just slap it on me, go ahead." And she won 2nd and 3rd place. So, it was just a random thing like that, so it could be both. Um It definitely got me through a lot of hard times just because I had to dive full force into my work. And as far as other people I have seen, it helped them a lot in making more logical decisions in life. Because I feel like they are more level headed than if they wouldn't have had even that one person to like vent to. Because I usually don't even put in my input because I feel like I'm the worst person to give advice.
No, you give good advice.
I try not to, but I feel like just in itself, listening to somebody, it helps them a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you do, you give good advice, girl. I can attest to that.
We
So
had the same
tell
problem.
us, like, tell us like your tattoo roadmap of your artwork that you have on yourself.
My roadmap. So my very first tattoo was an anime tattoo. It's the Full Metal Alchemist one, the
Yeah.
Nicholas Flamel cross. Um, it it signified for me like you could overcome things no matter how broken you might be. So whenever people tell me they're like, "Oh, I really gotta put thought into this and stuff like that," I'm like, "You can, but I mean, who's to judge you, especially like with me, like I can say something looks dumb, but I have anime tattoos and trust me when I tell you I've met my fair share of fans who say I love anime, but probably not as much to get it tattooed on me. And I'm like, oh, fair, that's fair.
Yes. Um, that that is one of my dreams to have one, but I still like I have not fully committed because I don't know which one. There's so many ones. Like because like you said,
Hmm.
hearing different parts of your life, those things are so healing and transformative, and it's like, which one do I commit to?
I feel like it's like turning into a new person, into a new you. It's like
Mhm.
when you shed your old skin kind of thing, like you're changing. Some people like change their hair. I know that people are known to cut their hair or have it long. Um, it's kind of the same aspect, I guess. For tattoos, I know mom, for example, one of the artists that tattoos here, she gets one like mini inch tattoo per state that she visits.
Oh, that's cute.
So she has quite a collection on her leg.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I used to collect shot glasses. I would much rather collect tattoos.
Right?
So, one other statement I want to tell you guys is that tattoos have always been a great way to share our experiences and feelings. Mental health tattoos act as a positive affirmations and are personal reminders to keep going. So, have you had a lot of clients that come in for mental health tattoos, and what are your favorite ones that you've done so far?
Oh, definitely. So my favorite one I offer for $50 and it was the semicolon tattoo. And I also started adding in the let them. I don't personally have the let them, but I do have the semicolon. And that one's just mental health or substance abuse.
Hmm.
And it's just to show that you're not alone and it continues. And I can't tell you how many people that I have tattooed. I have that, and it feels like exactly what it was for is you're not alone. Everybody has their own types of struggles. We just don't talk about it, and we're all going through our own stuff. Um, I definitely have had my fair share of memorial tattoos as well, and I'm a really big empath, so whenever somebody contacts me about a certain tattoo of s- somebody who had passed away, a relative, if it's like a father or grandmother and stuff like that, it hits me hard, but, there has been those few moments where it's a mother or a father doing it for their child, and that it really takes a lot for me not to cry, but, it I gotta be the one not crying, if not, like, I'm just gonna sit down with you and start crying with you.
Oh,
So in that way,
yeah.
I'm really glad when they come in and then they're, like, leaving in a better peaceful way because,
Mhm.
I might not see them again. They might become regular, clients, or that might have been just what they needed to heal at the moment.
Yeah.
So I just wish everybody luck, whoever comes through here.
Yes, that is so beautiful. Girl, I don't know how you keep your composure because I would be blubbering like a baby.
There's been times that those clients have got me, especially if there's, things that I relate to and I can, I don't know, sympathize over.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. What are your least favorite tattoos to do?
Um, that's a hard one. So for me, there's not really like a tattoo that I'm like, that's the least, but I guess if I had to like name something, I would say the infinity symbols.
Like this one?
Yes.
You
Yes.
Because they're very
I
popular,
love
huh?
I love the dainty look. It's just it's a very common one. I know that a lot of other artists do not like butterflies, but I feel like I can't even put a butterfly there because I love the bugs. But I do know a fair like handful of artists that are like, I don't want to do any more butterflies. And I'm just like, dude, they're
Yeah.
sick. So I'm sure they feel the same about the infinity symbol.
Well, I love mine, and Jarvis loves his too. So thank you.
That was one I enjoyed doing.
I bet, because you know what's crazy? Like before I got this tattoo, I swear I never saw nobody with it. Now that I have it, I see them all the time. So I totally get that. I'm like, yeah, I get that.
To be fair, yours is the first one that you guys said, "Oh, do the name inside." I've had
Yeah.
like the date and stuff, but
Well, we love
that
it.
was
We
cute.
love it. Yes. Girl, um, you were wanting to also talk about kind of like warning signs and how to like find an artist, and you were talking about a lot of like online scamming and stuff, and what we need to look more for when we're finding tattoo artists.
So online there has been a outbreak of scammers and such. So I know particularly with our shop, we like to do like deals and stuff like certificates just to do like a little competition to raise followers and such.
Hmm.
And people will comment in a like profile where they have our photo and our cover photo. So people who first glance think it's us, but if you scroll down, it's not really us.
Oh my
They
gosh.
have you click a link or they have you enter in your credit card number. Um, as far as I know, artists aren't going to have you do that. They either have um, like Venmo or Square. I know that those are the safest places, but I always tell people, I'm like, ask them to meet up in person, because personally, I do everything online. But if
Hmm.
somebody were to tell me, "Hey, can I meet you at the shop?" Absolutely, because I would be a little wary of sending some money online. Um, Deposits, the regular amount I usually hear is 100 to 150. If it's any more than that, I'd be a little wary about who this person is. Check their earliest post and check their work because I do have seen a lot of like horror stories where people are like, "Oh yeah, I got this tattoo so and so," and they never looked at their work. They just went in and trusting, and they didn't know anything about tattoos, so they thought that the price was fair, and they came out with a monstrosity because they didn't look at their work. So it's like with any type of person, you'd want to go look at their portfolio. What do they have? What has been healed? You know.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people just kind of jump the gun, like, this is the first person that can get me in. This is the cheapest that I can get. And sometimes that's not the greatest answer.
Right.
Definitely check through reviews.
Hmm.
There has been some like crazy tattoos that I've heard from new clientele when they found me. They're like, "Oh my gosh." And then they tell me nightmares about other shops. I
Mm.
go and look and kind of warning signs, red flags are there.
Hmm.
So the
Wow.
portfolio is one of the biggest ones, and don't be clicking any random links. Hopefully your artist won't have you do that.
Right. Yeah, never, because I've had a few and nobody has ever had me like prepay or pay to enter anything. So that definitely is, whew, people out here are bold. But I have seen some horror stories of that online where they like get a memorial tattoo, like how we were talking about, of their mom, and it looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
Mhm.
Not funny, but I'm like, baby, like,
Right.
and that's what drew us to you, because we were gonna go to somebody that Jarvis had known for a long time, and I do think it was fated, girl. I really do. and he wasn't able to get us in. And then we posted on the Facebook group and you responded, and we automatically went and looked at all your stuff. And what really drew me to you was your beautiful artistry and, of course, the anime stuff. Because you guys know I'm a nerd. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay, we have to go. Jarvis was like, yeah. I was like, look at this. So I love that. Yes, you guys, if you're doing anything, and I like artists that have the versatility that can do all the cool, badass stuff, but also do the nice, intricate things. And you know, me being like the little spiritual person doing the spiritual tattoos, those are like my favorite. Oh, my favorite tattoos. I can't wait to get more. I can't wait. I can't wait. Um, Jenny, you also wanted to talk about um, finding the right artist, which I feel like we kind of covered, but also booking advice and suggestions.
Okay, so when booking a tattoo, I have had this personally where uh people ask of me of like too much of me, if that makes sense. They want me to do a style that I have not been working towards or have any idea how to tattoo that, and my work would show it, you know. So I have to
Mhm.
nicely be like, I think that's a great idea. That is an awesome idea, but I myself can't execute it. But I know a ton of brilliant artists who can, you know? And it's not like always personal with a lot of people. Like, they're like, no, I want you to do it. Sometimes it is the, I don't know, best case scenario to trust your artist fully, or just find somebody else to do it. If your gut is telling you not to trust this person, you should just definitely go with your gut. And something else I've seen is like some really bad tattoos come in, and I tell them, I was like, well, you were there while they were doing it, you know, like it's like a tragedy and stuff like that. But I'm like, why didn't you just get up and go, you know?
Yeah,
And that's definitely an option. Like if it just started and you already see it going south, they're just like, no, 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 we're not gonna
yes.
do this.
Yes, because these tattoos are permanent. And if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel good, get the heck out of there. Yes. And find Jenny because she can fix it.
Um, you definitely want to find somebody that you can vibe with and talk with, because there's also been a fair share of artists who are fantastic, but they have the personality of like Dookie. Does that make sense? Like they are the worst human being that could ever live. So people are like, yeah, this piece is dope and it's amazing, but I did not enjoy the experience. And that can almost be as bad as a bad tattoo. I've had like garage tattoos, basement tattoos come by here, and um I don't know, I could relate to them that they said, yeah, but it was a good time. Like, yeah, at least you had a good time, you know? Luckily it
Yeah.
didn't like your arm didn't fall off, so that's fine.
That's funny. At least you didn't get staff.
Right, right. So, like, I don't know, for me, I would much rather have a proper experience with a, I don't know, experienced artist rather than a shitty one with experienced artist whose attitude is bad through the whole thing, or I feel like he's treating me some sort of way. I definitely wouldn't want to spend hours there with somebody who I felt was being, um, how do you say?
Just like
Mm,
unfriendly.
yes, yes. I wouldn't want to be spending their time
Right.
with them.
Hmm. That's like it's like a doctor with bad bedside manner. Like they're an amazing doctor, but if they're just
Mhm,
like a punk, you don't want to go.
mhm, definitely. I guess in that way it wouldn't be therapeutic. It would just be to get the awesome design, you know? And that's
Right.
fine too. Some people are that good that they don't have to be nice, their work does all the work for them.
Yes. Have now let me ask you, Jenny, have you ever had to like do you have to fix a lot of other artists' work? Do you get a lot of that type of clients?
I've had my fair share of those, and I've come to realize that um, a lot of them are a lot harder to please than others. So I've had some that I could cover up no problem. The greatest example was like a heartbeat, that it was like that big. And
Mhm.
I just put a few leaves over it to make it look like it was reaching out into her sternum. And she was extremely pleased. Then there's other ones that are a little bit bigger and they wanted it something that wouldn't cover that area. Um, Learning to say no to certain pieces when you can't do it like that. Me personally, if I were to do a cover up, I would always try to crutch on floral. And I know
Mhm.
some artists would, but I also know a lot of other artists can put um things that I wouldn't imagine could go over it and make it coverable. For example, one of the artists at the convention, um, my boss had offered me this piece, and I was like, there's no way I can do that piece without feeling confident that I might not have to touch it up and I probably won't see these people again. He
Mhm.
gave it to another artist, and this artist felt 100% confident that he could do it. Well, I went in and snooped in to see what he was doing, and he gave me some advice on the steps he was taking, but yeah, there's a fair share of cover-ups, and most of those seem to be, couples, like, X type
Yes.
tattoos, you know?
Yes.
So, like, for example, I think that they're cute, um, besides everybody's judgment, I think that they're cute as long as it's, like, something that can, I don't know, go along with not being a matching tattoo, you know?
Oh yeah, for
So,
sure.
there was a meme recently that I had seen, you guys can get each other's names tattooed if you guys can take each other's phones and unlock them into the other room.
Girl, we could do that, but look, Jarvis can't have his name on my body.
Yeah? Yeah, it's like, for why?
That's crazy. Yeah. Matching tattoos, they are cute. They can be cute, but remember,
Mhm,
sometimes you guys, these tattoos are longer than people's relationships, okay? So tread carefully.
mhm. I think it's funny that people are willing to jump into a matching tattoo rather than jump into marriage. It's wild. I'm like, one of
Yes.
them can be voided. No.
One of them can. Peace, Marcus, peace.
Right.
Um, so getting into this next little section, tattoos act as a permanent symbols of strength on our bodies to keep going and stay strong on our journeys. Do you think that's a accurate statement for tattoos?
Yes, because there's been plenty of people that I've met also that are a little bit older, and they tell me, I just had somebody in the last convention tell me, I got this, and it was a design from 1950. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I got it in 1980 something. I was like, what? So they
Uh,
definitely have their fair share of history, and like that, she could show me the actual design that was from the 50s, and that's like stuck in my head, and I'm sure that with other tattoos it's the same. I know that with Polynesian tattoos, they have certain symbols represent certain things, and that's something that I admire, and that's why personally I haven't done Polynesian tattoos because I don't feel like I could do it justice. I don't feel like I understand it enough. And some
mhm.
people are willing to just jump into it, don't care, they can make it their own. I personally don't like to touch that style if I can't justify why I did a certain design a certain way.
Hmm.
Especially because I am around a lot of artists who aren't exactly judgmental, but are not afraid to ask you, "Why did you do that?"
Right.
And just stare at you blank faced, and you're just like, and then you tell them a certain thing, and they're like, "No, that doesn't you did it wrong." And it's like,
With you bringing that up about the 1950s tattoo, like, do you think it's true what they say that tattoos don't age well?
um, I don't think a lot of things don't age well, if I can put it that way. Like, how beautiful is your skin that old, in itself, like, without tattoos, like,
Yeah.
how put together is it? It's gonna be wrinkly no matter what, you're just gonna have some tattoos over it. I have seen some really great photographs of some older women with full back pieces, and I
Mhm.
feel like they look amazing. I wouldn't mind looking like that in a few years. So,
Right?
I do think that tattoos do spread and they age not completely well, but the greatest artists can make a tattoo age well. A
Mm.
lot of things that I tell people is if the design is too small and a lot of black is inched in together, it will spread and it will turn into a black blob.
Oh.
So that's why I don't recommend the tiny, tiny, tiny little tiny font.
Mhm. I have
But most
one.
clientele like understands that.
Right. I have this one. So it is true that you say it's supposed to be a star and it looks like a block because it's little,
It
not
happens.
even any. Yeah. So yes, and I moisturize this very often, and it still happens. So heed Jenny's words, y'all. Okay. So the journey of healing is hard. Tattoos can be a tool to overcome burnout, depression, anxiety, and grief. And so I did want to talk a little bit with you guys about tattoo placement and like spiritual meaning behind them. And you'll have to tell me, Jenny, if you know or have known this about tattoo placements. So when you go in, you've been brainstorming, you found your artist, and you're like, I want this piece, and it gotta be right here, or I want it on my thigh, on my knee. There's a reason spiritually why we want it there. So in your armpit, it's the things that you don't want to see anymore. Upper arms is a signal of strength. Your wrist is the capacity to start and complete what has been accepted. And your forearm are goals and what you want to go after, which that makes sense because the infinity tattoo, is this considered your forearm? I don't know. It's close. It's close enough. And that's a goal to always be wifed up.
Right.
So did you there was any type of like spiritual meanings behind the placements or anything? Do you have an inclination?
For my tattoos personally or when other
Yours or
people ask me about them? For me, it's kind of wild because the one on my forearm is a song that my dad used to put on when I was sick as a kid. Um, so I can definitely relate to that, I guess, in a subconscious level.
Mhm.
As far as people, it depends. Sometimes they have the set place in mind because of their job or because they ask me what's the least painful place, and I tell people all the time it all depends on your own nerves. Some
Yes.
people assume that it's like the fattier the area, the least pain it's gonna be, or the bonier the area, the more painful it's gonna be, and it's not necessarily. I've tattooed someone's head, and they're like their biggest complaint was it was loud, you know? And then I've tattooed feet, which people have said is the worst area ever,
Yes.
and I've had certain women not flinch at all, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
A gangster.
Right, right, I'm just like, "Oh, women are, some other type of species, man."
Yeah, my first tattoo was on my foot, and when I got it done, he's like, "Are you sure you want your first tattoo on your foot?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can handle it." Oh, I made it through it, but that ish was painful, and I ain't gone back to get the second foot done yet.
Mhm.
So,
I definitely don't recommend the foot, but I've had some people do their first tattoo as their foot and their first tattoo as their sternum.
oh, does that
Yeah.
that's a painful area, huh?
It seemed
Dang.
painful to me. I can't attest for it. I don't have a sternum tattoo yet.
I'm just like, I'm touching, and if it hurts with my fingernail, I know it's gonna hurt with the needle.
Mhm.
So,
Yep,
what
yep.
popular tattoo placements?
The most popular ones are surprisingly one of the more painful ones. People really like the wrists and the ankles for their first tattoos, which both I hear are not great. Even my tattoos are like a good portion away from my wrist.
Yes.
So just because I'm just like, nope. And personally, before I started tattooing, I could cover them up with sleeves, which I always tell people that's where I recommend you start if you're like worried about pain. I also tell people that if they want it there, don't think about the pain. Just think about how cool it's gonna be.
Do this, it's be so dope.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just gonna be so cool. You're gonna be so cool after this. Just think about it.
I love that. I love that. What is the most painful placement in your experience?
In my experience, was my shoulder. I have a gizmo eating a chicken bone and it's full color, full shading. And I before I started tattooing, I didn't realize this, but when I was getting that tattoo done, um, it felt like I was going into shock, man. I started
I bet.
shaking, I started getting the chills, you know. I'm pretty sure the artist was an apprentice, so she didn't know that I was going into shock, you know. And in those cases, you need to like stop, let your artist know, you know, the chills is one thing, and then the shaking is another thing. You got to get some sugar into yourself. Oh,
Mhm.
that's another thing that I feel like is really important that people forget is like just getting prepared for a tattoo is making sure you get a good night's rest because it is like I said it's a lot on your energy level and on yourself, on your
Mhm.
body to take. Um you got to get a good night's rest, you got to eat, you got to please not be drinking any alcohol cuz it could affect the tattoo. I've definitely had people tell me that they drink a beer right after a tattoo and it does like no harm, but personally, I wouldn't take those odds.
Yeah, because I want my stuff to last, okay?
Right.
And do you recommend eating before your tattoo?
Yes, like don't overdo it or anything to where you're feeling sick, but definitely have your breakfast and hydrate. Maybe drink a little bit more water than you would for the rest
Mhm.
of the week.
Yeah. Do you think the water helps make it last or your skin absorb it better?
I feel like it's just good to be healthy in general because I've had people ask me like why can't pregnant women get tattooed, and it's in the sense of your body's focusing on another thing to heal
Mhm.
and to form, which is a baby at that time. So if you get a tattoo, you're going to be taking that focus into the tattoo or taking the focus into the baby. So either way, one or the other are not going to be okay. So it's just best not to.
Oh, yeah, that's smart. I like that way of looking at it.
It's the same way as when people tell me, how long do I have to wait before my next tattoo? I always tell people at least 2 weeks, because by then, the outer layers should be done healing and you don't have to worry about it. I do have people ask me like, when can you go swimming? And it's not till that whole thing is healed because you don't want the nasty bleach or swampy water or lake water to get into the tattoo. It's an open wound. That's how you gotta see
Yes.
it. It's like in Japan, they see it as a medical procedure, which it is, and it's incredible how many states just let you buy a tattoo machine. It's
Wow.
terrifying.
I didn't know you could just buy it.
There is a fair share of people that is one of my least favorite what is it called? Trends going on
Hmm.
is TikTokers buying tattoo machines and then writing usernames or random tattoos for, I don't know, bait.
On
Like,
their
how long
body?
is that gonna last? How much skin are you gonna have? Yes, it's terrifying.
The heck? Oh my gosh.
No gloves, carpet, just an invitation for bacteria.
Yeah, that's crazy. I literally thought it'd
Mhm.
be like something like medical supplies. You have to have a license to buy it.
Yes. Yes, if you are gonna run a business, they have depending on which state you go to, you have to have your bloodborne, your CPR, your HEP. Nebraska had me provide my high school diploma, so that was a shock. I mean, good to know, right? You gotta stay in school in Nebraska.
Dang, that's interesting. What about here in
Mhm.
Utah? Can you just buy a tattoo?
Here in Utah, the health department is a little lenient. You do need a business license and bloodborne pathogens. That's why I say you want to go to a reputable shop because any reputable shop won't hire what they call scratcher or in-home learner.
Mhm.
Um, People who don't have more than 2 years of experience can't work in a professional shop. That's why I
Mm,
say to look at the reputation of the shop, look at the reputation of the said artist, because sometimes the shop could be really bad in itself and the artist can be phenomenal. It's not their fault that they're stuck in a shitty situation.
right, right. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to it for sure. Okay, some more spiritual placements, you guys. So if you get them on your right side, it means like present energy and masculine energy. Left side is past energy and feminine energy. On your face, it's a mask and it says things about your personality. On your back, it's unconscious emotions. On your shoulders, it's burdens that you've carried throughout your life. Your lower back, financial worries. Belly, relationships. Um, your hips, energy to move forward. Your neck is movement and direction. Arms, what we want to embrace and hold tight. On your butt, it's held and stored emotions. On your thigh is personal strength. On your ankle, it's balance and support. And on your feet, it means our roots and steps to feel grounded. So yeah, so these placements, whatever art you decide to get, that's just like the energy that you're trying to embody. That makes sense. So if you're not just like Jenny said earlier, just kind of going on a whim to be like, let's get a pizza slice tattoo. If you're like really trying to put some like emphasis in it to help you along your journey or add more power and meaning to your tattoo, placement does matter for sure. What are your favorite tattoo trends or aesthetics right now?
My favorite tattoo trends is the semicolon tattoo that we were talking about. I really like the type of awareness tattoos. Um, Definitely off topic from the TikTok tattoos. Another thing that like I really didn't like in the trend thing was the biting marks. I don't know if you've seen those.
Mm, I'm gonna look that up after.
They like bite their partner and okay, so they've done it several ways where they directly bite the skin and then do the tattoo, or they put like a clear thing over it and then they bite that and then do the tattoo. Either way, I feel like people don't really know what it is. So, I mean, you could get away with just doing a few little dips and calling them teeth marks. You know, who's gonna know the difference?
That
I
is
I
weird.
don't like that either. Yeah,
That is
no. I really do like the mother-daughter tattoos though, type thing. I think those are really sweet, and I've done a lot of those recently.
I know. My daughter says one day she wants to get the replica of this prison star that I have right here. As I always tell her, I was like, yeah, this is my jailhouse tattoo because it is so ugly. And that kind of, the bite mark thing kind of reminds me of, years ago, people would always get like their girlfriends or their wives' lips tattooed on their neck. That was a thing. Have you done
That's
any of
still a
those?
thing. I have.
Like, how
They've
do
had
you,
they've asked me, they're like, "Can I kiss the paper?" Yes, sure, you can kiss the paper.
so that's how you do it.
Yeah, some people have them do the lipstick in itself. I don't think that's sanitary. So the way my boss taught me is to kiss a piece of paper, stencil that, and then put the stencil on the skin.
Okay. Girl,
Mhm.
I didn't know that was still a thing, honey. So you did tell us like your least favorite trend that's going on right now. Let me ask you, what is the weirdest thing that someone has requested to be tattooed?
Hmm. I wonder if they're watching. Um, it was you know what? No, I don't care because if he would have been embarrassed, he wouldn't have asked me for it. Um, I was tattooing said man's already, and he wanted me to tattoo said ex-girlfriend on near his crotch, which I have tattooed people near there before, and my other is okay with that because I mean it's a job, skin is skin. But I did not know that the requested name was of said ex-girlfriend, and current
Oh,
girlfriend was there at the time. So before I
oh,
did the tattoo, I actually had to tell him I can't do the tattoo just because of the weird circumstance he had put me in. Yeah, yeah, I had no idea.
ooh, that is
And
fuego.
that was the weirdest request I had ever had, and I'm like, "Oh, no." Poor girl was, like, crying really bad. So,
Oh, that's so sad.
mhm,
So you haven't had anybody like come and be like,
mhm.
"I want a slice of cheese tattoo," like,
I had have fun ones like that. I've had my fair share of people tell me, "What can I get for free?" And I've told people I will draw a penis shark or something of that matter.
a penis shark. Wow, that's wild.
I mean, like, they're asking for a free tattoo, so I'm like, "If you're willing to let me do something ridiculous like that, I am so down." And most people are not.
So, Jenny, what was your very first tattoo you ever did on a client? Do you remember?
My very first tattoo I did on a client was my best friend, at the time, Tanis. He wanted skis going into a V with the mountain, and it was on a calf, and I was so nervous, and it's it's probably one of my longest tattoos. Maybe it was like an hour 30 minutes, but it felt like 5. And he was so happy with it, and he's like, "Okay, we can add to this later." And he got like 2 tattoos after that. One of the clients that I have had the longest, I haven't seen Tanis in a minute just because he works grapes, but I do have another client, and her name's Itha, who had one of my first tattoos. I think it was like the fourth one. It was a little Winnie the Pooh, and it was on her hand, like right here. And I told her, I
Oh,
was like, "Can I put this anywhere else?" Just shaking, like a leaf. I'm like, "Can I put this anywhere else?" She's like, "No, I want it on my hand." And my mentor had fully said okay, because this was a regular of ours. So I was like, "Please, can I choose somewhere else?" She didn't say no. Um, we finished the tattoo. She loved it, and she's still coming back. She actually was one of my poster tattoos for one of my conventions, which was a rooster that I did on her with human legs.
that's cool. Have seen that on your Instagram. Yes, I've
Mhm.
seen it. The legs. Um,
She lets me do really big pieces.
I love that. I love that. What was your first tattoo piece?
On me,
Uh-huh.
my first tattoo piece was on my shoulder, which was the necklace female symbol.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Girl, I love me some anime. I really do. One day I'm gonna get some. Okay, I will get some. So
Mhm.
again, what type of advice would you give for clients that aren't exactly sure what to get, but they know that they want to get something?
So ask yourself questions like, how big do you want it? Budget, how much are you willing to spend? Um, what do you want? Where do you want it? How big you want it? Do you want it black and gray? Do you want it in color? There is a million types of styles of tattoos. So like there's illustrative, there's American traditional, there's Japanese traditional, there is tribal, there is trash polka. That's just a big range of designs. I'd say find out what you want, find out the style, find out the size and where you want it, and then go look for an artist. So I would say reputable artists that you know around town, people that you can meet up with, because there are people who will take straight the deposit and then, I don't know, run from it. There are really bad artists like that. So you want to be able to have people who have reviewed said artists and said that they are reliable and it's the work that you're wanting.
Hmm. What's the youngest here in Utah that you can get a tattoo?
As far as I'm aware of, in Weber County, it is 16 with parents' consent, so you have to have um the parent or guardian of said child, their birth certificate, your ID, their ID, and have copies of that and their signature. I know in other counties in Utah itself don't even allow the 16-year-olds to get it. So it just depends on which county you're in, which state you're in.
Do you have a
Sometimes it
lot of,
even depends on the shop.
okay, yeah. Do you have a lot of parents that come in with their 16-year-olds?
I've had a fair share, but it's usually just the regulars. I am a little wary when taking on somebody who is gonna be their first tattoo that young, just 'cause, um, I have seen kids walk through here wanting their hands blasted, which is complete opposite from back in the day, how they used to have their suit, what they'd call it, like their inner shirt type thing that they could cover it tattooed first before they did their hands or their face, and that seems to be like the new go-to thing is to get your hands and face first.
Hmm.
So I hate to be like a buzzkill, but I don't like to give people their first tattoo on their face and hands, and I know plenty of artists who don't like that and have that sense of, I don't know, boundary.
Hmm. Yeah, it's very popular now. I've seen a lot of young people with the face tattoos. A lot. And I'm like,
Mhm.
and back in my day, even though I'm not that old, like you was a OG, like you was a gangster with a face tattoo. Like you have killed somebody when you had a
Mhm.
face tattoo.
Well, me and another artist were just talking about this. I had told her about how I don't like to give spider webs because I had seen that as being a very high-end gangster type of tattoo. And hello. And
Easier.
said artist that works with me actually said, she's like, I have plenty of spider webs and I've never killed anybody, you know? So there's definitely everybody's different views on that stuff. I don't think I'd be wanting to do any spider webs anytime soon unless they're like in a cute little forest type scenery,
Yeah. Oh, that would be cute. Like
right?
Charlotte's Web.
Yes, that'd be a
Well,
prime example. Good.
I I think your work is absolutely beautiful. I love our sessions. Like, girl, I hate that I can't just go get a tattoo whenever I want to. Okay, it drives me crazy because it is. It's so therapeutic. I do enjoy our time together. Absolutely. My favorite tattoo that Jenny has done for me. Um, was the protection code. So I work with healing quantum codes, and there's a code for protection, and she did it on the back of my neck. And it was the most amazing experience and therapeutic. And I was going through a very hard, transformative time in my life. And I was just like, if I can get through this pain, and it wasn't just the physical pain that I was experiencing, but the emotional pain that I was going through in my life. I'm like, I am protected. I can go through anything. I can do all the things. And I'm just divinely guided and protected. So I appreciate you for always doing such beautiful things for people. You have such a beautiful gift.
Aw.
Girl, what is your Jarvis, you're such a hater. Look at this fool. He's lurking. He's what? Not our tattoo together? Rude. Of course that's my favorite, babe, but you was there. You was there, okay? And now can't nobody mess with me. Because I got it. Jenny gave me the tattoo. So mm. Anything else you want to add to um, people that are getting ready to hop on and get them some ink therapy?
If you are in Utah, I would definitely recommend Northern Utah tattoo page to find reliable sources for artists. I know plenty of artists that go on that page on Facebook, and you can request anything. There's also the Facebook group page Utah Tattoo Lovers. Um, I know that some of those are scammers, but most artists are willing to pick them out for you and tell you like so and so scamming and put like red flag on them type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't go clicking any links. Make sure you can meet up with your artist. If said artist tells you they work at a certain shop, don't be ashamed to just call them directly to see if said artist does work there. Yeah, just stay safe. find the right artist for you and make sure that you vibe with them and you trust them, because if you don't trust them, then they maybe shouldn't be putting something permanent on your skin.
Period.
Hmm.
Period. Vibes are off. Run, y'all.
Yeah, just get up.
And just like I said, it doesn't matter if you even have the stencil on your body. If it's feeling weird, it don't feel good, get the heck out of there.
If you see something that's a red flag, just get out.
Yes. Well, tell us again, Jenny,
Hmm.
where we can at, girl.
I am located in 434 2nd Street, Ogden, Utah. Um, you can find me at Art by Jenny C on Facebook or Instagram. Um, and then my next convention is this upcoming weekend at the Leighton Tattoo Expo, the Classic Tattoo Show, I think it's called. And then next month in Riley, North Carolina. Sorry if I say that wrong.
I think it might be Raleigh. I think maybe.
Raleigh. Yes.
All right. Gratitude again so much for taking some of your time because you are a busy mama and soon to be wife to chat with
You're
us.
right.
We really appreciate it. And you
Thank you.
guys, that's it for this week, you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to follow Jenny on all her socials. I'll be making sure to put that in after we get off. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your Friday.